Unique cultural treasures and wonderful natural landscapes. The King's Way in the heart of Jordan is one of the most fascinating roads in the world. In addition to agriculture and the mineral industry, in recent years tourism has become one of the most important aspects of the country's economy. The historic Road of Kings leads to Madaba and is the oldest route to the Holy Land, and to Mount Nebo that overlooks the Promised Land. Into the colourful desert landscape of Wadi Rum, to the Red Sea coast and a fascinating underwater world. The 19th century Sankt Georg Church in Madaba contains one of the most important treasures that dates back to early Christian times. The 15-metre long, 5-metre wide mosaic that depicts a map of Madaba was created in the 6th century AD and once consisted of more than 2 million square stones. However, over the centuries, various sections of this extraordinary mosaic have been destroyed, so today only a part of the original map has survived. Madaba boasts a unique mosaic museum. It features numerous objects that date back to Byzantine times. A number of ceramics are also exhibited here. Fine mosaics are still made today. 12 kilometers to the west from Madaba is another important religious location. Mount Nebo is one of the most holy places in Jordan. According to legend, it was from here that Moses first set his eyes on the Promised Land. Moses experienced his first sight of the Promised Land from the western edge of the summit. At the foot of the mountain is a most spectacular landscape. The Jordan Valley and also a section of the Dead Sea are visible from Mount Nebo. If the weather is fine, it's also possible to see as far as Jerusalem and Jericho. The Moses Church was of special significance for the early Christians. It was built in the 6th century. The present basilica replaced several smaller buildings on Mount Nebo. The church's main feature is its baptismal font. Our journey along the King's Way takes us over a narrow and winding mountain road. Due to its dramatic landscape, the deep canyon of the Wadi Mujib that is situated in the south is also known as Jordan's Grand Canyon. For around 20 kilometers, numerous hairpin bends lead to the opposite side of the canyon. The King's Way descends 900 meters into the depths of the Wadi Mujib. A mighty structure was built here some years ago, the Mujib Dam. Today, its reservoir holds around 35 million cubic meters of water. The Wadi Mujib Dam plays an important role in Jordan's water supply. However, it has transformed the landscape forever. After continuing for a short while on the King's Way, we arrive at the thousands of years old settlement of Rabar, once a caravanserai. The oldest building in Rabar is a ruined temple. It dates back to the time of the Roman emperors Diocletian and Maximin. After a few kilometers, a large town comes into view. The most important landmark of Kirak, a town with a population of 20,000, is a mighty fortress that was built by the Crusaders. It is the last remaining building in this area that was constructed by the Crusaders. Due to its strategic location, it was frequently the subject of hostile action. At the beginning of the 12th century, Kirak became the capital and bishop's seat of the Outre-Jourdain region, but it did not prosper for long. In 1170, the fortress was attacked for the first time by the Syrian Zengerin Nureddin, but its mighty walls withstood the siege. Later, the Crusaders repeatedly attacked Muslim caravans, so Saladin was enraged and attacked the fortress. Saladin did not succeed at his first attempt, but Kirak Fortress was finally conquered in 1188. After an 8-month siege, the Crusaders surrendered. In 1264, the Mamelukes, under the mighty Sultan Baybars, drove away the Ayyubidin troops that were stationed at the fortress. Since the 16th century, Kirak was part of the Ottoman Empire, yet its local rulers continued to have much influence. The historic King's Way now travels through a rural area. This was once the border between the biblical countries of Moab and Edom. The region is known for its magnificent landscape. This remote area in the south of Jordan features a huge canyon, the Wadi alAraz. The landscape gradually becomes wilder. However, the Wadi alAraz is still inhabited. A number of tiny settlements have been established along the King's Way. This is a remote and isolated area. A few sheep and goats alongside the road add to the rural character of the valley. The Wadi al-Hassa region has retained its timeless natural charm right up to the present day. As with Kirak, the dilapidated Shak Fortress that rises above the village of the same name dates back to the time of the Crusaders. The former king of Jerusalem, Baldwin I, had this fortress built in 1115. From their base in Shubak, the Crusaders were able to control two important routes from east to west. However, the fortress was also conquered by Saladin. In spite of the desperate resistance of the Christian rulers, Qazia ash-Shubak was conquered in 1189 by the Muslim army. The main section of the ruins of this complex originates from the time of the Ayyubiden, who were in power for almost 70 years. At that time, and particularly while ruled by the Ayyubide governor, Al-Mu'azzam Isa, the Shubak fortress contained several buildings. The towers and walls of the fortress are decorated with carved Arabian inscriptions. We leave Shubak and travel along the King's Way in a southerly direction. The unspoiled landscape is fascinating and quite mesmerizing. Incredible rock formations stir the imagination and give the region an air of mystique. Our route leads through a canyon that in some places is only a few meters wide. But soon we reach the remains of several buildings. Reminiscent of the famous Nabatean rock town, El Baida is often referred to as Petra Minor. El Baida was once a suburb of Petra. There were settlements here long before caravan routes were established. The surroundings of El Baida were already settled in the Stone Age. Archaeologists discovered traces of agriculture and livestock breeding. The region was a veritable birthplace of civilization. Despite archaeological research and discoveries here in the 20th century, the exact history of this area's ancient dwellings remained a mystery. In time, further settlements were established. Architectural parallels with the more resplendent city of Petra are plain to see. The narrow and confusing canyons provide natural protection against hostile tribes. The high rock walls are quite threatening, yet it's worthwhile glimpsing into the canyons as they hold a special fascination. The roads beyond the canyons are surprisingly modern, so we're able to travel fast and in comfort. Growing tourism in this region has led to better roads. A visit to Petra is the highlight of any journey through Jordan. To experience the mysterious capital of the Nabateans is a must. The entrance to the legendary capital of the Nabatean realm is by way of the Sik, the dried-out riverbed of the Musa. Whether by foot, donkey or cart, the journey into the stone world of the Sik and the rock town of Petra is an unforgettable experience. Carved into the rock, the treasure house is a unique beauty. It's Petra's world-famous landmark. There are 6 columns within the lower section of the front hall. As with most of the treasure house, they're in surprisingly good condition. In the 6th century BC, most of the Nabateans were nomadic and lived in tents. The high season of the ancient city of Petra began in the 2nd century BC. The Nabateans became a prosperous people. The city's high ritual place is located in the southwest at an altitude of 1,000 meters above sea level. Magnificent views more than compensate for the arduous climb to the top. A Roman amphitheatre is one of the most impressive sights in Petra. It is carved into the rock and could once accommodate 6,000 spectators. This avenue was once the centre of the Roman city, and on both sides it was flanked by several large temple complexes. High above the avenue, a number of tombs tower up majestically on a rock wall. With its monumental tombs, this is Petra's King's Wall. It highlights various architectural styles of antiquity. The King's Wall unites Nabatean, Greek and Roman design. A steep mountain path leads to another temple, Elida. Here, many prefer to travel by donkey. Back on the King's Way, some shepherds and their livestock cross our path, a common occurrence on the rural roads of South Jordan. The landscape becomes increasingly desert-like and hostile, with barren mountains and less vegetation in this arid region. One of the most beautiful and romantic places to stay overnight close to Petra is Tebet Zaman, a former village that has been transformed into a splendid hotel complex. Its old buildings have been lovingly and authentically restored, and tourists from all over the world come to Tebet Zaman. Our next destination was not created by man. The Wadi Rum is not only the largest desert in Jordan, its landscape has also played an important role in the country's cultural history. In the 20th century, Lawrence of Arabia made the desert and the surrounding mountains of the Wadi Rum famous. The beauty of this area is outstanding. There are various camps in the desert, and so it's quite easy to stay overnight in the wadi. The camps are well placed for exploring the local scenery. And here there's a great deal to see. There is a fascinating contrast between splendid stretches of sand and strange rock formations that are amazing works of art created by nature. For thousands of years, the camel has been the traditional means of transport in the desert. However, today, jeeps are also commonplace. The setting sun paints the rock with a reddish glow. This is a fascinating natural spectacle that takes place here each day. The camps of the Wadi Rum that are tranquil during the day suddenly spring to life at night. And the locals come to life too. They have rhythm in their blood and are proud of their cultural heritage. The final destination on our journey along Jordan's ancient King's Way is Akabar, situated in the extreme south on the Red Sea. The sandy and stony beaches of the Gulf of Aqaba are popular with the local people. A journey in a glass-bottom boat provides a fascinating insight into the underwater world of the Red Sea that is also a paradise for divers. The city of Akabar is Jordan's only seaport. It's an important centre of international trade. The Akabar fortress was built by the Crusaders and was later transformed by the Mamelukes. Following its conversion in the 16th century, the fortress served as a resting place for the many pilgrims who travelled from Egypt to Mecca. Akabar's Marine Museum was inaugurated in 1980. It features the underwater flora and fauna of the Red Sea. The splendid colours and shapes of the creatures in Akabar's Marine Science Station are quite breathtaking. Many of the fish here are only to be found on the Red Sea. The Gulf of Aqaba marks the end of our journey along the King's Way, as the setting sun provides yet another glorious sight to what has been a truly memorable and atmospheric experience.